Welcome to this month's episode of Relaunch My Life Radio. And this is a very special episode that I am recording with my partner, Paul Eliseo, as we announce some exciting changes in our world and the end of an era in how we have been helping people evolve over the last 2 decades. I want to actually start by saying I started recording this podcast back in 2017, and I used to record this podcast in my wardrobe because it had the best acoustics. I would sit there and think about all of you, my listeners, and really think about what you would have benefited from hearing. And it's been a beautiful journey, but as everything in life changes, this podcast is also going to be evolving. So I'm very excited to announce those changes in this special episode. So first of all, I want to introduce Paul and say thank you and really acknowledge how blessed I feel we have been to be partners in business and life and do what we've been doing over a decade now. And I want to invite you to share a little bit about what you've loved and noticed over the years in this journey that we've been on so far together.
Awesome. I love being on the show. It's been a while since I've been on, but I love doing life and business with you even more. And I think that's one of the biggest things for both of us, being able to grow together, being able to learn and share what we're learning. And I think as we've done that, our life has just changed so much. And so for me, I've really loved being able to share what's worked for me in my life, because a lot of the courses and trainings we run are the tools and techniques that changed my life completely. And knowing how much it's helped me really is a gift that I love to give to other people. And seeing people come into our world that have been, in bad places, had, things happen to them that they thought they'd never get past, and then literally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, being able to know that they can change, seeing them actually step out of the little funk or the groove or the little bubble they've been in and open up their world has been massive. And we've seen people become amazing coaches and therapists. We've seen people get into good relationships that have always struggled with that. I've loved seeing people turn around their health and go from, being in pain or, having weight issues to really being able to thrive in their body. I've loved seeing people actually turn their business around that were struggling or start new businesses. We've had a lot of great people in our community become experts and leaders in their field. And so almost any walks of life, even their friends, family, relationships have all transformed from doing the work. And so I love seeing the gift that helped me help other people. And it's been great for us in our life, because I feel like as we've learned and grown and shared all these things, we've applied them in our world. And I feel like our connection, our ability to experience the world has shifted so much in this journey. And it's also in this stage where we're deciding to evolve even more, the feeling of excitement, of the newness, and knowing that, for some people, we call it the feeling of growth in our trainings, where whenever there's something new and unknown, the body prepares you for it. And some people can perceive that as being scary or feeling unsure. And sometimes when people get that unknown or something they've never done before, it's really easy to shut down. But I feel for us, because we've had all the years of doing this work, we're kind of excited to step into new and different, and knowing that this feeling of unknown, and the more comfortable we are in doing something new and different, the more our life's going to change and the more rewarding that's going to be. So I feel like all the years of teaching people that has helped us navigate this even more excitingly than it would have been.
We're getting the feeling of growth about what we're going to be announcing in this episode today. Yeah. And we are going to be sharing some exciting changes. But before we get to that, we want to do a little bit of reflection, and we want to share some of what have been the highlights for us on this incredible journey that we have had so far. And teaching the courses, teaching NLP and supporting you through, I remember when we first met, you were teaching NLP and hypnotherapy, and my jaw just dropped when I witnessed not only the incredible ability you have to transform people through examples, techniques, stories, belief, intention, but then stepping in and supporting you in your trainings and then teaching NLP and master practitioner by your side. It has been the most incredible journey. I think when anyone does our courses, they transform. For me, really having to embody and teach these things has taken it to a completely different level for me. And it's challenged me and stretched me in ways that I could never have imagined. And doing it with you as my partner by my side has just been such an incredible journey. And I think back over the last 10 years and some of the highlights that stand out to me definitely are when I ran my first ever NLP training and I had 15 students, and it was such a stretch for me. And I remember after that training, everyone loved it so much. They all said, well, when can we do master practitioner with you? And you looked at me and you said, well, you better come and teach master practitioner with me as well. And I felt, I don't even know how to explain it, but 1,000 times feeling of growth in that moment, realizing, okay, now I have to step up and teach master practitioner, which was just a completely different level of skill that would be required of me to stand by your side. I still at that point pedestaled you as a teacher and didn't see myself as being on the same level as you, but to hold that space for that first ever master practitioner with you and teach that training, that I think catapulted not only myself as an individual, but our relationship into a whole new level of embodiment and walking the walk, talking the talk, because you can't sit up the front of a classroom and teach people about stepping into their highest level of self without also walking that path yourself. So I want to say thank you for all of the times that you've nudged me into growth, even when I felt not ready. And I sort of feel like what we're going to announce on this episode today is another example of you doing that, but us doing that for each other.
I feel like you're almost a more a nudger than me. And so...
Did you say I'm more of a button pusher?
Yeah. Pushing us into growth, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like as a team, one of the biggest things on this journey as well, running a business and doing life together, is I feel like how much of a good team we are, and learning. One of the things people love about seeing us present together is they're like, how you guys know when to talk? How do you guys know when the other person's going to finish and what you're saying next? And people think we've got every single thing scripted and we practiced it a million times, but it really is an art form. And I feel like we've both developed that in the years of doing it. But also when you're talking about highlights, I feel my natural state is the hermit almost. And I like being in my little cave and doing that. But I feel like almost like in Aladdin, where you want to show me the world kind of thing. And
you're Jasmine on the magic carpet.
Yeah, I know, right? That's kind of fun.
Beautiful.
I feel like we've had the ability to travel all across Australia and even the world, teaching trainings, and the people we've met, the places we've gone. Literally, we've traveled through the outback. We've slept in the back of vans. We've gone
Maybe
overseas.
Give a little bit of context. We drove a camper van around Australia and taught courses.
Multiple times. And we
didn't just sleep in the back of a car.
We did sleep in the back. And on the way and through and doing these kind of trainings, it's forced us to experience things we never would have before. And so like that's been a real highlight, but also the people we meet along the way, the places we've gone along the way. And I feel like how much we've grown together has been an ultimate highlight for me, because I feel like it's prepared us for life in ways that would never have happened. And I love that you've stepped up and you've, like you said, you stepped into that role and done amazing with it. Because one thing I love and people say as well was how different you are than me when we present.
Yes.
And how your style, your approach, your stories, your life, and your ability to share things in ways that are totally different style than what I do. But it's that yin yang, it's that masculine, feminine, it's the two different worlds, and people get so much from your style of presentation, your energy, your connection, your life story, and your experiences that they wouldn't have got if it was just me. And so I feel like it made what we do a lot more well-rounded, and it made it more like a lot of people came to our world because of you and because of what you do. And so like, I think that's a real gift. I think that's something that is just open up what people can experience and how many more people have benefited from this kind of work that wouldn't have if you didn't sort of take the jump.
So I'm curious, thank you. I will receive that compliment. I'm curious, what, if you look back over teaching over the last however long it has been teaching, nearly 2 decades in your case, what are some of the highlights that stand out for you in teaching the NLP and the hypnotherapy in terms of breakthroughs or experiences or teaching moments?
Well, I think if you rewind back how I used to teach, I used to get there early in the morning, set up all the rooms, get everything ready to go, and then stay until I got kicked out by the next person that was using the room And so it would be not just the course hours, but I'd stay back and do therapy with everyone in the classroom. And so I probably overgave to start with, and I would talk until people had to leave and had to go home and pick up the kids and had to eat dinners and stuff like that. So I feel like
that used to drive me nuts.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you helped me with as well. Where like I'm a more in-time person, so when I'm doing something, I'm doing it, and I don't care about the time. Juliet's more.
If it says it starts at 8,
yeah,
it starts at 8. If it finishes at
so
5.
I feel like I've developed the ability to be more structured as well over the years, because before it was just I'm doing it, that's what I'm doing now, and then now I know, okay, we're on here, and I feel like I've got better at that. It's really hard to pinpoint. There's just so many. I feel like we've run retreats together, which has been fantastic. We've run corporate events together. We've done a lot of new things. I feel like we've transitioned from real world doing amazing trainings in person to online doing amazing. And the first couple of times that we did that was really amazing.
I think the highlight for me was when you did an instant induction with a student and he started snoring standing up.
Yeah, that was fun. So that was with a guy who was 6 foot something, and he's a lot taller than me, big guy, and he put his hand up. Love it. Okay, come up the front, and everyone at this point hadn't seen a rapid induction in the classroom. And so my first time demoing it in front of that class, I've done it lots of times before that, bang, put him into trance and literally snoring instantly. And this is a big guy, like
very loud snoring.
And the way this induction worked was like I'd bring him to my shoulder. And so I had his full body weight pretty much pushing down on me, and he's gone, like proper out. And so that was pretty wow for the class to see. But also like for me in that moment, it's like, oh my God, I got to make sure this guy holds up. And then so I made some suggestions that he would be able to hold his body weight and all that kind of thing. But that's been pretty well. I've also, for me, I think looking back on stuff like that, I remember one master prac I ran, and we'd do a pain paradigm technique. And for me, when I first learned that technique, because I used to specialize in corrective exercise and rehab with people, and I used to help people with pain. And I would have clients that we'd do exercise and pain would get better, worse, and things would hang around for ages. And then I learned that, and I could literally in a conversation help someone remove chronic pain they've had for a decade. And I was so blown away by it. But then when I was doing it with a classroom, and I think there was about 36 people in a class, and I don't remember the exact number, it was more than half put their hand up saying they had chronic pain. And I said, okay, as I demo this with the person at the front of the classroom, I want you guys to go through the technique with me.
Yeah.
And so by the end of demoing with the person out the front, the people in the class that had put their hand up, it was over 20 people, all had their chronic pain go from whatever out of 10 it was to 0. And so to see a group of people like that had tried other things, that have done all these things, not even do the technique with me, but just witness it and piggyback, as we call it, the process in a classroom, they had the same result. And to see how much power that had and how powerful that was as a group, and for them to all witness that, okay, yep, I'm just sitting in a room hearing this happen and I still had that result. And then what that meant for them in their life and what they could do with other people, that was really powerful. That's one moment that stands through. Like because people think pain is one of the most real problems. Like emotional pain from things that have happened in the past, everyone experiences that, true, yep. But when something hurts in your body because ouch, that's different because it's real, right? That's the most real pain people think. But then literally that can dissolve instantly as well. And so that's always been wow for me. And I think every year, every time I demo a technique like that, that's always really mind-blowing and wow. That's something that I feel like really stands out to me. What about you when you think back through the years? What's some highlights for you?
Well, I think every time when I've taught NLP specifically, teaching the process on clearing people's limiting beliefs,
Yes.
that actually finds the place in their thinking before they formed the belief. And so if you are able to access the place in your thinking before you formed a limiting belief, it actually no longer activates inside your nervous system. And so what I love about that particular process is then after that point in the course, seeing how differently the people show up, and that being so evident to everyone else in the training. And I think that's what's special about what we have done in terms of our class trainings and people being able, we've had generally 10 to 20 people in each course. So people have really got to know each other. And so you hear someone showing up on the Monday talking with all of these limiting beliefs. And then by the Sunday on the 7th day, they are literally talking like they are a a more open and full of potential human, and it's not changing that person at all. It's helping that person be more of who they really are.
It's really interesting because as you were chatting, I was replaying some more memories and highlights in my head. And I think one thing that I've seen, it's funny, when I'm running the trainings, I see it, but when I've seen, especially even watching you when you did your first few trainings, how the person looks on the first day versus how they look on the last day. And so I talked about the pain transformation, how instant that can be, but seeing someone drop the emotional baggage, seeing someone drop the stress that's accumulated over the years, seeing someone drop all of the story, all of the limiting beliefs, all of the negative emotions they've been holding on like baggage. You'll see people on the first day and that's amazing. They're awesome people. But then you see them become more of themselves. You see that light inside them come back on again. You see the body and the energy in the body moving. And it's like that light switch has been turned on and all of a sudden the flower that was wilting has now opened back up again. And so I remember in one training, one of my students, this is when I was running courses around Australia with personal trainers mostly, and the student had come in and she was pregnant. Well, she was pregnant at the time, and she had she looked like she was basically 9 months, but she was only a couple months into it. And we did a technique that was the parts integration. She had a lot of internal conflict of all these things were going on. And it was a huge stress for her, causing a lot of mental, emotional stress, but physical stress as well. And so we did a technique, resolved it, and literally the next day she came in and her body, like the shape and size of her body totally transformed. She went from looking like 9 months pregnant to being a couple months pregnant like she was. It was literally like, if I was to quantify it in weight, it looked like at least 10 plus kilos like that disappeared. And everyone in the class saw it, she saw it, and just how quickly someone's body can shift, someone's physical appearance, the way they feel energetically totally can transform with just a technique that literally helps them let go of an emotional challenge and a physical challenge that are linked together because of what's going on in their mind and body. Like I've just seen people look like they've had a holiday, they've had a facelift, they've had years of their life and stress just disappear. What's your experience of that been?
Well, I think on top of that, doing a course for 7 days and having that kind of transformation is one thing, but the people in our community who have had the most consistent growth and evolution and transformation are the ones who continue applying the tools and skills that they learn. And I think over the years, we've really seen a difference in people who do that and apply and keep using the skills and tools that we've given them, and then people who don't touch the skills again, right? We've got a dentist appointment later today. It's the difference think of dental hygiene. It's like our mental hygiene, and the tools that we have loved teaching through our certifications have given people the tools to be able to do this work themselves and keep it up. It's you can't just do a week of exercise and then you're fit for the rest of your life. The same thing for your mental, emotional well-being. You don't just do one training and then that's it forever. It's using and applying these skills. And so, I think we're going to be announcing in this episode what's going to be shifting and changing in our world. But I think it's been a real gift to be able to give people the skills and the tools. And I think because I started my journey coaching people and doing the hypnotherapy one-on-one, I loved that because it was helping have that transformation, but truly giving people the tools to be able to apply the transformation in their own lives has been so powerful because of the ripple effect then of them being able to keep doing that work. And I think it creates a lot more empowerment for anyone listening. You might have gone to psychologists, counselors, coaches. There's always a place, and it's fantastic to get other people to help you. But I think when you make that shift to empowering yourself to know, well, actually, I'm the only person that can change me. I just need some tools. That's the real difference that I think for me has been so incredibly enjoyable, seeing someone realize, there's nothing wrong with me. I just didn't have the right tools in my toolkit. And I think that's the shift that I love seeing. And I agree. I think you and I both love nothing more. And I think we probably got together in this world because we both love that moment of seeing that wilted flower come back to life. And that's what I see in humans as well, is you can see when someone's truly thriving and living in alignment with their purpose and their values. And then you can see when someone's just going through the motions and going through the loops. And I just really love seeing people give themselves permission to experience the joy that is possible for them in their life. And so that's been really cool. One of the highlights that stands out for me as you were talking actually at the time was so challenging for me. But now when I look back, it's a time of fondness. So during COVID, we moved our courses online. And there was one particular training, though, where I had about 15 people registered for a training in Perth. And it was the first week in January. And at the time, the borders between WA and Adelaide meant that they were closed. And if you went to Perth, you had to do 2 weeks of isolation before you could see anyone. So I counted back the 2 weeks from when my course dates were in January for my course, where I had 15 students registered, and it was over New Year's and Christmas that I was going to have to leave, I think on the 21st of December from Adelaide to get to Perth in time 2 weeks before to do my 2 weeks isolation before teaching a course. And I just took a deep breath, booked my flights 2 weeks early, booked an Airbnb, and I did 2 weeks of isolation in order to run that course. And two things happened. The first was the day after I arrived in Perth, the WA borders lifted the restrictions for anyone entering after that day. So I still had to do the 2 weeks isolation, even though the borders were now open. So technically, if I could get back on a plane and go back to Adelaide and then fly back, I wouldn't have had to do the isolation. And the other thing that was really cool was I had Coles online deliver me a Christmas roast that I made on Christmas Day. I had 2 weeks completely on my own, which was the most beautiful gift. And then a day or two after I got out of isolation, I remember still greeting all of the students for their first day of NLP, and they all came in the room one after the other, so excited to meet me that they were giving me bear hugs, and I was so overstimulated because I'd been in a room for 2 weeks on my own. But people said to me like, oh my gosh, the students all said, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you did that for us. And I just thought, well, what a gift. Like, what an opportunity for me to, number one, have 2 weeks on my own. Number two, have 15 students who really want to do this, especially when the borders had been shut and there were all things getting cancelled. And number three, like, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. And so it was such an easy yes to do that. And, I think as well, one other thing that stands out was when we evolved to teaching the NLP training together. So for many years, I was teaching the 7-day NLP on my own. You were teaching your 7-day NLP on your own, and then we would do the masters together. And I remember it was actually another year after that when I was in Perth that I called you on about day 4 or day 5, and I said, I want to teach this training together now. And so we divvied up the course, and we've been teaching the NLP training together one half of each day. And that's just it's been really fun. And again, I had to get over myself because I am
the captain.
Yeah, we're both kind of bossy in a good way. We're both, on the disc, we've both got profiles, the high dominance, but that's a blessing and a curse. Yeah. And I think we've really learned how to dance in that world and know where our strengths. And we often say, I'm the order and you're the chaos, and I think that works really well. And it's been really fun. So, do you want to talk a little bit maybe now about what you're starting to gravitate towards?
So, I've learned so much and grown so much through running the NLP and hypnotherapy trainings over the years. I've had people ask me a million times.
Training,
my personal training background, my health and wellness background. I've done a lot of different things, and those in our community know that I've studied a lot of things for decades now. But I've had people that say, can you talk more about health? Can you talk more about wealth? Can you talk more about some of the things that you do in your life and yourself and your relationship? And even though in the other trainings, the tools and techniques we teach are linked to and help you with those areas, I haven't had the time and space to run things that I want to run that will help people not only learn the skills, not only get ideas and concepts that will help, but make the internal shifts where they actually have a shift in their values, a shift in their identity, their belief systems, but also embody and apply and build habits and routines where they get the mindset and the skill set to, over a period of time, transform their life. And so for me, I really, really love seeing people change, people grow. And I have wanted and just needed the space to develop trainings where I can help guide people in an immersive kind of format over a period of time to go from where they are to where they want to be. And so for me, what I'm really excited about this year is one of the new programs I'm running is Your Personal Evolution. And it's designed to do all those things. It's designed to be an immersive format where you're going through with a group of individuals that want to master their life. Not just dabble, not just learn some ideas and go, oh, that's cool. Because what we've learned over the years is information doesn't equal transformation. The application, the integration is really where the magic happens. And that doesn't happen in a weekend. Like, you can have huge life shifts in a day, but to really become a master, it takes time, it takes practice, it takes implementation and learning and feedback and developing the habits and becoming the kind of person where the identity and your belief systems and values link up with the goals that you want to have. And so what I'm really excited about is helping people to get the principles, get the skill set, but also have the internal mindset shifts that they can actually apply those things. Because people generally know enough to get a result in an area. Like, people know the general gist of how to be healthy, but why don't they do it? People know the general gist of what they should do financially, but why don't they do it? And when the information and the knowledge doesn't match the application, there's a disconnect. And so it's really about bringing the body, mind together, the conscious and the unconscious, and getting rid of those internal blocks and really shaping and crafting who you are now. Because we've all heard the be, do, have kind of model, and it's great, but then there's some bits and pieces that go beyond that. But really, for people to become a different person is really the catalyst of them getting a different result, because who you are is reflected in life. Your past behaviors, your past thoughts, your past beliefs, your past values have created your results in lives now. So I talk about life being a mirror. Like, you look at your body in the mirror, that's a reflection of what you ate, what you did physically, but they all came from what you're thinking and feeling, your values, your beliefs. And so it reflects back your past. And so for you to get a different body, you need to change your beliefs, your values, your thoughts. Now that will change what the mirror reflects in the future. And so in terms of money, relationships, how you think and feel about yourself, they're all mirrors of who you are. And so if you want to change what you're seeing, you need to change who you're being. And this is where the process of this course I'm really excited to run will help people to work on all those levels. We're going to build in the information and the knowledge and some deeper layers that really can help you to go from terrible results, average results, good results to even better. And there will be a pick a path based on where you are in each area, but also there'll be deep.
Sounds like you're very passionate about it.
It's cool. It's something.
I think I'm excited for it because it's going to have less restriction than, the certifications have been fantastic. It's been amazing to certify people in NLP and hypnotherapy, but it's really restricted some things that you've been able to do.
Yeah, and it's built to make you, number one, have a personal transformation, but also become a great coach and therapist and have the certification to work with people. Whereas this training will be designed to help you rebuild yourself and your life to get where you want to get to.
So if people want to find out more about YPE, they can head to pauleliseo.com/YPE. Over the years, as you would know, I've been sharing a lot on this podcast about how much organically I have been doing around helping people write their books. And to me, it's not just about writing a book. It's about giving people a voice, helping them self-express, helping them get creatively unblocked, because a lot of people have been wounded creatively through life and through their upbringing, and really helping people share with the world what they've learned through their wisdom, their successes, their journey that could help someone else. And I'm a big believer that if just one person would benefit from reading your book, then it is something that you should write, even if it's for your own personal transformation. So this podcast is going to be evolving into a transformational writing and a guide for aspiring authors, where I'm going to be sharing tools and tips and also interviewing writers. So that is going to be happening. There'll be a season every year, mid-year, around the launch of my Birth Your Book course as well. So I'm very excited for that. The title of this podcast is going to evolve. There'll be a little transition period, so you can still get it at the same subscribe button. But I wanted to let everyone know that that is what is going to be happening this year. And then I suppose the final announcement we need to make is a pretty big one. And it is one that we have been contemplating, I would say, for the last 12 to 18 months, would you say?
Yeah. It's been in the works for a while. And obviously, we love what we do. We want to keep doing it, but also we both have these passions and things that we want to share with people.
I think,
and we need to create space to be able to do the new things.
I was going to say, I think we've both recognized that there's something else opening up for both of us, a little more individually using our skills and talents, and And so we are going to be offering our certification courses only for this year. This is going to be the last year that we run the NLP, Master Practitioner, Hypnotherapy and Advanced Hypnotherapy in the format that it's been delivered. Yes. So you've heard it here first. If you have been thinking about studying these courses and you have been thinking, I want to get certified in these places and with Paul and Juliet, this is the year to do it, because we're not sure what we're going to be offering in the future, but it's going to be an evolved version of what we have been doing and fully integrating, I think, all of our past skills and talents.
Yeah.
So
and
it feels kind of nerve-wracking to announce it.
This is the feeling of growth that we talked about. Like, it's easy to cling to what we've been doing, but if you keep doing what you've done, you're always going to get what you've always got. And we're ready to do new things. We're ready to share. Evolve. We're ready to evolve. And we have to practice what we preach. Like, I've coached so many people over the years that stay in their comfort zone, that they're trapped in the life they've created. And we're not creating by accident here because our life's terrible. Our life's going really great. And so we're making a conscious choice to expand it, grow even more. And so this is one of the changes we're going to make. We love the trainings and we'd love to help as many people to experience them before we potentially, say goodbye to it forever.
And we want these last trainings to be the best we've ever. Yeah. Every time we teach, we always set an intention that we're going to teach the best course we've ever taught. So these will be the last and the best trainings we've ever taught.
Calling out to all past students, if you want to resit, you can also have an opportunity to do that. If you know people in your world that would benefit, share it with them. We're going to have a special offer for people that are getting involved as well.
And call out to our community. Yep. We want to say a big thank you.
Yes.
Because a big part of why I think we've continued doing it as long as we have over thinking about this for the last 12 to 18 months is the amazing and incredible people we have got in our courses. And we have such a beautiful supportive community. That is going to continue. Yes. The community groups will be open. We'll still keep supporting, answering questions. We're just not going to be offering the 7-day, 14-day trainings anymore.
Certifications, for sure. And thank you to everyone who has trusted us, jumped into our world and been a part of it as a student, as a crew, as someone cheering from the sideline.
We're going to get emotional and we're on the last day.
It's really powerful and it has been such a big part of our life. But like we said, we're both at a point where we're ready to evolve. We're ready to do new things, relaunch our businesses in a new way. And we wanted to give people the opportunity before it was too late and they go, oh, you guys aren't doing it again. Like, we wanted to let you know.
Yeah, plenty of notice.
And so that you have a chance to jump in.
Our next and last trainings then, we have NLP Practitioner 13th to 19th of April 2026. Hypnotherapy is over 2 weekends, the last weekend in May, first weekend in June. We have Master Practitioner in August and then Advanced Hypnotherapy in October. So send us a message, reach out to us. My next season of this podcast is going to launch in May. I think as well, I turned 40 on May the 1st. And so I don't know what the journey was like for you. Something changes when you get to 40. I wouldn't say I'm having a midlife crisis, but I had that already when I relaunched my life. But like I wrote in the foreword of my book when I relaunched it 5 years on, you don't just relaunch your life once and then that's it, set and forget. Life is an endless series of evolving and relaunching. And I think this is a new version and iteration for us. And I'm really excited to see you and what you create. And I'm also really excited to see what I create and what opens up for both of us taking this leap, because it's like the metaphor we give in our trainings. Life is like monkey bars, right? You're like playing on the monkey bars. If you want to move forward to the next rung, you've got to let go of the one you've been holding on to.
Yeah.
And I think that's as much for us to embody that and walk our walk and talk our talk.
And I love seeing you do the work you're doing now with the book writing.
Yeah.
You've got a real gift of helping people to feel safe, to explore, to express themselves. And like you said, it's transformative, it's healing, but also it's a gift that keeps on giving, because once you've thought through, opened up and created that, literally it's immortal. Like, you're immortalizing people's lives and stories in the books you're helping people write. And it's really powerful to see you jump into that, and people are loving working with you. I've loved working with you. Help me write a book as well. So
I want to help you write more.
Yeah, and that's what we need, the time and space to do that. There's only really 2 of us. And so, it's a move that we have to make.
So we want to say a big thank you for tuning in. I think this episode went a little longer than we anticipated, but there was a bit to share. It was nice to reflect as well. And I think one of the things that you always remind me of is transcend and include.
Yes.
Don't just shift on to the next thing. And I think that's why we've been very conscious, very intentional around, is this really the right step? Because there have been so many incredible gifts that we've both felt that we've received through the giving and the teaching that we have had. And it's not a decision that we've come to lightly. And yet at the same time, it feels really light to make this decision. And that's something I always encourage all of you listeners is feel into things. Notice, does this feel heavy or light? And that can really guide you towards what is going to be, most enlightening and uplifting for you in your future.
And choose growth.
Thank you.
Choose, pushing through some little bit of resistance to
Don't
get
get
to that.
stuck in a comfort zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Embrace the fog, as we say to you all. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank
Keep
you.
evolving.
Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode in May.